December 2025, archaeologists in France unearth 3 ceramic jars. Inside, 25,000 Roman coins. But here's what makes this discovery extraordinary. Someone buried their entire life savings here, and never came back for it. The verified evidence reveals why. This isn't just ancient treasure. This is proof of an economic collapse so severe, people stopped trusting banks entirely. Here's the official evidence. The town of Senon sits in northeastern France. 2,000 years ago, it was a thriving Roman settlement. INRAP archaeologists, excavating 1,500 square meters, found something remarkable beneath the modern streets. 3 buried vessels. Each one carefully placed. Each one filled to the brim with bronze and copper coins from the 3rd century. The question isn't what they found. The question is why someone left a fortune underground. Here's the verified archaeological report. The coins date to the 3rd century CE. That's not random. That's the most economically unstable period in Roman history. Look at these vessels. They weren't hidden in a panic. Someone carefully buried them with the openings still accessible from floor level. This wasn't emergency storage. This was a system. An ancient banking system operated from someone's home. But understanding WHY requires knowing what was happening to Roman money. In the 3rd century, the empire experienced something modern economists call hyperinflation. The silver content in Roman coins dropped from 90% to 5%. Imagine if your $100 bill suddenly became worth $5. That's what Romans experienced. And the response? They stopped trusting official currency. They started burying their wealth. We'll show you the verified economic data. This period has a name: the crisis of the 3rd century. From 235 to 284 CE, Rome had over 50 emperors. Most ruled for less than 3 years. Many were removed by their own guards. This political chaos destroyed economic stability. Provincial governors printed their own money. Counterfeiting became rampant. The average Roman citizen watched their savings evaporate. Official banks, they collapsed alongside the currency. The response was predictable. Citizens became their own bankers. Archaeological evidence shows coin hoards buried throughout the empire during this exact period. Britain, Germany, Spain, and now France. The pattern is identical everywhere. Large ceramic containers, bronze and copper coins. Carefully maintained access points. Romans weren't hiding treasure. They were operating underground savings accounts. Their homes became vaults. Here's the verified economic data. During the crisis of the 3rd century, prices increased by 1,000% in some regions. A soldier's annual salary that once bought a year's worth of grain, it now bought 3 months. The empire's response made things worse. They minted more coins with less silver. Basic economics: more currency plus less value equals an inflation spiral. The official system failed completely. The Senon discovery reveals exactly how ordinary people adapted. The 3 jars weren't buried at once. Archaeologists found coins stuck to the outside of the vessels. Someone added to their savings over time. The jar openings remained accessible through the floor. This was a functioning home bank. Deposits made regularly. No withdrawals. The owner expected to retrieve their wealth eventually. But they never did. 150 meters from these buried savings stood a Roman military fortification. Soldiers or local administrators may have helped manage deposits throughout the community. Think about that. The official Roman banking system collapsed so completely that citizens created their own financial infrastructure. Ceramic jars replaced marble bank vaults. Home floors replaced official treasuries. Trust in neighbors replaced trust in emperors. And then came the fire. Archaeological evidence shows Senon was consumed by flames at the beginning of the 4th century. The houses that contained these underground banks, destroyed. The people who buried 25,000 coins, they perished or fled, their savings remained. For 1700 years, someone's life fortune sat untouched beneath French soil. The underground banking system worked perfectly, until the entire town vanished. Here's the excavation site on the map. Senon, northeastern France. The INRAP team discovered not just coins, but the entire evolution of this settlement. From Gallic village, to Roman town, to abandoned ruins. The limestone quarries that built these homes. The hypocaust heating systems that warmed them. And the ceramic jars that held everyone's savings, all frozen in time by catastrophe. 25,000 coins represents years of savings. Someone worked, traded, and carefully accumulated this wealth. They witnessed their empire's currency collapse. They watched official banks fail. They created their own solution. And they believed they would return for it. The fire that consumed Senon took everything except what was already underground. A fortune preserved, an owner lost forever. This is what economic collapse looks like at the individual level. This happened in 270 CE, but the same pattern is happening right now. When banks failed in 2008, gold purchases increased 400%. When inflation spiked in 2022, cryptocurrency and precious metals surged. When people lose trust in official financial systems, they create alternatives. Home safes, digital wallets, underground storage. The technology changes. The human response to economic instability, identical. 1700 years apart. The Senon discovery teaches us something profound about economics. Official systems fail. They always have. They always will. But human adaptation survives. The Romans who buried their coins weren't primitive. They were responding rationally to irrational circumstances. Their ceramic jars were the cryptocurrency of the ancient world, a decentralized solution to centralized failure. The coins remain. The lesson echoes across millennia. This is why we investigate ancient economics. Not for treasure, for patterns. Next video. How Rome's $1 billion wall in Britain bankrupted the empire's northern frontier. The construction budget will shock you. Subscribe for the investigation. The economics of empires revealed.